Hey everyone, this is Zing again, and I'm here to bring you another Jank build. And at this time, the build is centered around Bone Offering. I have here a level 16 irradiated map, so level 17, and we're gonna go ahead and do the map and fight a boss at the end. And let's take a look at how this build works out. This is kind of an intro to the Bone Offering video that I'm making. I realize that some people may not be fully aware of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about renewing bone offerings. So, since I'm using bone offering, without the overabundance support, like if you take this out, you sacrifice a skeleton for bone offering. It lasts 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds, it goes away. In the meantime, all your skeletons are buffed. However, if you've already, the buff is used for one of your skeletons, you can't make another bone offering. Like if I keep clicking, nothing happens. And so essentially with the overabundance support, it makes your bone offerings last half as long. But you can do this. You can, while one is up, you can then summon another one, and then now you can summon another one, and now you can summon another one. So you can alternately create more bone offerings in order to like deal with a situation where, say, an enemy attacked your guys and used up some of the buffs, but you want to immediately then get another buff out so that they can deal more damage. That's how you do it that way. And another thing is that when you have, since you're running an Infernalist with Seething Body, with Infernal Flame, if you don't use a skill for 2 seconds, you start losing Infernal Flame. But what you could do is, if you want to keep your Infernal Flame high, you can every once in a while just hit Bone Offering again, and then that will keep your Infernal Flame over 50% most of the time, and that will lead to a significant damage buff, because you basically, and all your minions deal 50% of damage extra as fire damage, and that includes a Bone Offering, which is a very chunky buff for that regard. And so you can essentially just keep recasting this and then keep your Infernal Flame high that way. So that's the little tech that you can do. But if you screw up like I just did, you take a bunch of damage. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Thank you. So I'm going to avoid the delirium for now because I'm not super confident. Anyways, so the build is centered around Bone Offering. The idea is I have a bunch of minions and I want the enemy to attack my minions. And when they do, they take a bunch of damage. And because how Bone Offering works is that it grants a pretty significant buff to all of your minions, making them essentially immune to a single attack. And then after that single attack, the Bone Offering buff explodes outwards, dealing physical damage. So how I have set this up is I'm playing an Infernalist, and I'm using Infernal Flame, Pyromantic Pact, and then Seizing Body. I'll try to maintain Seizing Body so that you can get the bonus from the fire damage on all your minions, and that also affects your Bone Offering. I have a Loyal Hellhounds for damage mitigation, and I also have Bringer Flame, which increases my allows my minions to ignite people by hitting them. The build works like this. I send my minions forward, they punch something, and they die. Now, there are a variety of monsters. A lot of monsters are very aggressive, and they will attack you happily. And when they do that, they kind of destroy themselves. But there are also monsters that doesn't like to attack, and in that regard, they are very annoying because they don't die. They don't attack the Bone Offering minions. Instead, a lot of them will slowly walk towards you. And so in that, to deal with that, I also have another setup, which is I have some skeletal snipers, and I can use them to explode things. And since most things being attacked are on fire, thanks to one is being on fire secondary to my Hellhound, and also being set on fire by the all damage contributing to ignite chance of your minions as well, so that also helps setting them on fire. So overall, if an enemy gets ignited, they will explode from the cloud. And but most of the clearing is done through your enemies punching your skeletons. But there is one particular setup I'm also using, which is I'm also using Unearth, because Unearth minions will get the benefit from the Bone Offering. So essentially what you're looking for is enemies that have big AoEs. Hopefully they will attack and hit a lot of minions on Bone Offering, and the explosion will take them out. Bone Offering itself as a damage skill, I don't think it's that bad. It has a lot of positives, and the positives are it has a high base crit chance, 15%. And it also has a fairly high stun, and it says that it says that it does a pretty good stun. And so all of these are very positive things, but at the same time, the issue is that it's conditional, which means that you can't trigger it unless somebody hits it. And the more enemies that deal these kind of like melee range AoE attacks that hits your skeletons and unearthed minions, it will allow the minions to kind of shotgun a little bit, because it will trigger a multitude of explosions, and the multitude of explosions will overlap and deal a lot of damage. So that's like the good part about Bone Offering. Secondly, Bone Offering also takes advantage of a Lust for Sacrifice. So if you have Pain Offering up, the Bone Offering will deal more damage. And if you have both of them up, which is kind of like what for your boss fights and such, and you will in fact deal another extra 40 from the Lust for Sacrifice. So that's all really great. But I will say that I've noticed that some bosses are just not very they don't trigger the Bone Offering that often, because they are focused on you. And because they're focused on you, they're not really attacking anybody but you, and they're using ranged AoE attacks. And those bosses could be a problem, because you don't get to trigger Bone Offering that frequently. But for enemies that do trigger Bone Offering quickly, because say they do like a sweep attack, like a swing their weapon all the way around, hits everything around them, and triggering that kind of explosion, usually they die pretty fast. So like these guys, their attacks are not hit, they're AoE damage, and that's also a problem, because AoE damage just doesn't trigger a Bone Offering. It has to be a hit. So let's see, let's open this strong box, get some minions out. I know that I'm picking up rares because I'm hoping that some of them will be good. So, because I'm not a pro player, so a lot of this stuff is just me trying to get some currency. Oh, look at that explosion! That was great. So yeah, these magma guys, they go down pretty fast, because they trigger a lot. They trigger a lot. So I know that I had a zombie build before, and that zombie build, not real great in breaches. That is not the case with this build. reaches, I think I do rather well. This is a rare level 16. Let's see here. Do I have another? Don't have a orb I want to use. Let's just trigger this. Let's just fight. Reach monsters are very aggressive, and they tend to die because so long as you have Bone Offering, they will attack. They will attack. That's for sure. They're not shy about hitting, and because of that, Reach Lord's hands. Ooh, look at that guy. Opponents that, once they're stunned, like, what do? Right? Like, this guy is annoying because he runs around all the time. Yeah, he blew himself up.
Now.
Taking longer than anticipated. He doesn't like to shotgun. So this is an example of a boss that's a little harder because he doesn't shotgun too much, and therefore Seeming Things, I think, is a snake boss. She killed herself. She was not hard as a boss. Way better than some of the other ones.